Nice do.
Thank you.
Max too, but his doesn't change as much. Good morning. I'll start this with an attribution to Cindy Anderson, who's fully explained stress when it comes to this particular part of the gathering. And as anyone who has written a meditation, we're supposed to feed the lead teacher's topic, which today is trauma. And so consulting Google, which is most helpful, it turns out that trauma is kind of an endpoint of stress, anxiety, and then trauma. So hang on to your shoelaces. I'm going to do this by analogy with something most of us are familiar with, called a colonoscopy. So a definition of stress is that too, but a state of worry or mental condition caused by a difficult situation. Stress is a natural human response that prompts us to address challenges and threats to our lives. Everyone experiences stress to some degree. So I'll break this down into the analogy, a personal example, and a community example. So the colonoscopy example of stress is sitting on the throne hour after hour, guzzling something like weak Gatorade with not so good results. A personal example could be a loss of income, a relationship issue, or crafting a C3 meditation. A community or tribal example could be gathering space issues, Ottawa County politics, or listening to my rather sketchy meditation. Anxiety, a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. Like stress, but persistent and or unresolved. So in the colonoscopy analogy, agonizing over diminishing output. It's getting clearer every time. A personal example would be waiting for the results to be interpreted and reported back to you. That's anxiety. A community or tribal example would be wondering about our gathering space, wondering if Dick's billboard campaign will bring us new community members. Not that these are cheap commercial plugs, but wondering if Dine with 90 will work as a format to getting to know more community members more closely. Wondering if pedaling for C3, following the leadership of one Spring Lake resident, will produce enough incremental revenue. Our last example of anxiety, listening to my even sketchier meditation analogy. And finally, trauma is an inner injury, a lasting rupture or split with the self due to difficult or hurtful events. By this definition, borrowing from Kent's lead, trauma is primarily what happens within someone as a result of the difficult or hurtful events that befall them. It is not the events themselves. Trauma is not what happens to you, but what happens inside you. Following the analogy, finding out that you had polyps that need operating. A community and tribal example, wondering if hiring an executive director will enable community growth, wondering if we can find and hire a new teacher with Kent's wit and religious knowledge who would also have the patience to lead this herd of cats into the future. and remembering even small bites of this meditation. There is an old adage that I'll apply to this. If this meditation doesn't kill you, it will make you stronger. Namaste.